Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trap Draw. I'm joined in person by my esteemed colleague, Mr. DJ Pyhowski.
Hello, TC. Good to be with you down here in the greater Jacksonville area. What a thrill, man. We're hanging out together this week, filming some content. We decided, why don't we do some monitoring? Why don't we do some chopping, knock out a little trappy here while we're here? And yeah, great to see you as always.
Of course, great to have you down here. A couple good days of weather
Mm,
on the back of a couple gray days. I feel like I'm still cooked after just a long week of filming. We had the 18 inning game.
yeah, which we only caught about. I went to bed in the seventh, and then yeah, woke up and was just truly shocked. I don't know the last time I was shocked like that, waking up, kind of checking the phone early in the morning. Wow, they just essentially played 2 games, just 10 scoreless innings or whatever after we went to bed.
My guy Otani,
Oh,
uh, just continues to get on base.
yeah. I don't know when this is coming out. Maybe tomorrow?
Yeah,
Probably
Friday,
before game
Halloween.
6. So yeah, your guy Otani, I don't know, it's not looking good, man. Down 3-2 going back to this
No,
to
we're fine.
Toronto,
We're
but
fine.
I think even if they lose, he should still get the MVP. That feels
How many
more than
times has
fair.
that happened?
I don't know. Don't have that off the top of my head.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before we get any farther, we got to thank Mr.
Of
Jeezy.
course.
We got to thank ServPro, number one branding, cleanup, and restoration, known for making any mess like it never even happened. With over 2,200 locations nationwide.
Mm.
So visit servpro.com or call 1-800-SERVPRO today. What do we have to clean up?
I don't think a ton. I mean, privately, didn't think the Dodgers were going to lose another game after they just absolutely depanced the Brewers in the NLCS. So I'll apologize to anybody who I may have said that to in person. I wore kind of a pretty bad fit, I thought, on Tuesday. It was fine, all individually nice
Okay.
pieces, but as a combo, I just wasn't really pumped about it. So that'll show up on camera in a couple months here, I'm sure. But other than that, I feel like I've been pretty above board. You?
I had a bad one. This one's been gnawing at me for a few weeks. The Helen Garner book that I referenced, it's nonfiction. It's
Oh,
not
sure.
fiction. It's nonfiction. It's about her grandson
Yeah.
playing Aussie rules
You don't read
football.
fiction.
I really don't read
And
fiction.
that's why I actually flagged that in my head. I was like, really? It's like a novel about Aussie rules football? Like
Yeah,
that's what that kind of made me want to read it, but
yeah,
it did seem like a pretty true story.
yeah. So she, listen, I apologize to anybody that got caught up in that whole fiasco. Also, I keep getting got by non credible like AI slop astronomy accounts.
Astronomy specifically.
Yes, like,
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, there's a black hole in the Milky Way," and then I'll
Look
send it
out.
to AstroDupes, and, I'll send it to our Slack, and then I'm like, "Alright," or somebody else will send it to the Slack. I'm like, "This is sick," and I'll send it to AstroDupes, and he's like, "Dude, like, that's not even remotely true, or that's so out of context that, you can't be following that wormhole there."
Yeah, you need to block
So,
that one from the
I don't know
algo.
what it is about astronomy, just generally. It's
Well,
like
it's
it
kinda anything's
'cau
believable,
'cause I don't, yeah,
you know?
exactly, and I don't have any frame of reference or knowledge about it.
I kinda worry for the people who don't have the astrophysicists in their phone that they can check with, you know? A lot of people that not gonna have those safeguards, TC. I think
Yeah,
we might be in for quite a golden age of fake news, I
yeah.
should say.
I mean, I think we're just in the golden age of fake news,
Yeah,
here
I
generally.
think it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better, I
Yeah.
guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And then not really a mea culpa, but just more along the lines of just, Randy, I know you're listening. We'll chop soon here, but your guy John Bolton getting
Yeah,
arrested.
yeah,
Randy's guy
that
John Bolton.
has always been Randy's
Or
guy.
indicted, I should say.
Indicted.
Not arrested, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's Randy's guy.
yeah.
So,
Thoughts and prayers
yeah,
for the big guy.
yeah. So, anyway, ServPro, appreciate their support. Housekeeping wise, we're gonna be Neil, Randy, and I are gonna be chopping it up with an esteemed. You know what? I'm not sure if we know that he's a knower
Yeah.
yet, but we're vetting him as a knower.
He
Uh,
seems like he should. He spent a lot of time around the game, in the
yeah,
game, like, he should be a knower at this
yeah,
point. I don't know if how his knowing will compare with your guys's, certainly, but sh good get.
yeah.
Be a
Good
good get
Good get. We'll have
if
that
it
one
comes
early
through.
early
Yeah.
next week. So, DJ, tomorrow's Halloween.
It is. It is. Maybe today, as you're listening, is
Yeah.
Halloween. How do you feel about Halloween? Are you a Halloween guy?
Well, first of all, talking to a few friends in other cities, talking to Drew Pond actually. They were trick or treating last weekend
Well,
up in
I put this on
Milwaukee.
the list. Yeah, Milwaukee's big on this. I have never couldn't really wrap my head around the concept of not trick or treating on the 31st.
Well, why?
Until somebody
Yeah,
spelled it all out. They're like, "Well, what if you have parents that work on the 31st? What if you can't what if you're sick? What if you can't, like, what if things are going on and you just kinda, like." Really, the parents thing is kinda what hit me is, like, if you got a parent that can't get out of work on the 31st or something, like, kids just don't get to trick or treat. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. So what they do is they kinda spread it around the city. So it's like,
yeah.
if you can't make it on the 31st, you can go to this neighborhood on the 30th. You can go to this neighborhood on the 28th. I think is the thinking behind it, which I'm like, "Okay, well,
Makes
that's
sense.
kinda hard to
I
argue
think
with."
having one, escape route,
Yeah.
safety valve is good.
Now, granted, we got kinda jobbed on this one this year because we had a long story, but we had a, 1-year birthday party for our son, Charlie, that was scheduled for, like, a month and a half ago, but then he got sick, hand, foot, and mouth, which is just running rampant,
Yeah,
cutting through our household
it's
like
hot right now.
hot knife through butter. And so we pushed it back and we're like, "Oh, well, trick or treating's on Sunday, so we'll just like ended up it's a long story. We ended up doing this whole costume motif for this birthday party and we're like, "Oh, this will be great cuz trick or treating's on Sunday. During the day, everybody can dress up. We'll hang out on the porch, we'll have the birthday party." And then at the last minute they flipped it and they're like, "No, no, no. Well, Halloween's on a Friday. That's sick. So we're just gonna do trick or treating on Friday or on the 31st this week." So I don't know. We
Well,
got
what was the
all
costume party?
twisted around. So we were hanging out. This was months ago with my brothers. My son's name is Charlie, and we're thinking about what to do for a first birthday party. I've always been, and this kind of speaks to my Halloween thoughts writ large, where I'm like, man, he doesn't know that he's at a birthday party. He doesn't really know what's going on. Are we I'm just a big like, are we doing this for him or are we
Yeah,
doing this for us? And I don't care what the answer is, but
let's be
let's just
honest.
be self-aware of
Yeah,
what we're doing here. We don't need 5 different costumes because like, are we just doing that to post it on Instagram? Like,
yeah.
yeah, probably. And that's okay. But let's just be eyes wide open about what we're doing here. And so we're like, all right, well, what should we do? And my brothers suggested, they're like, well, you should do a party where everybody has to come dressed up as a famous Charlie. And that's self-serving of them because they have a very weird sense of humor and they're going to pick like who knows? I'm surprised they didn't pick
It's Charles or
Charles Man.
Chuck or
Yeah, I'm
Chaz on
surprised they
the
didn't pick Charles Manson or Charles, Darwin or some like
Charles
weird
Barkley.
Charles Barkley. I'm surprised they didn't pick some weird Charles. So we're like, oh, haha, that'd be funny, but like nobody's gonna want to do that. And then we started talking to the whole family. They're like, no, that sounds sick. Let's do it. And everybody did it. It was great. So we had a Charles Lindbergh.
Yeah.
My dad was the rifleman. Was it Chuck Connors? I think was the rifleman. Some TV show from the
You were
70s.
you were Charlie Hoffman?
I was not Charlie Hoffman. I was Charlie Hustle, technically. Pete Rose got a sweet Pete Rose, which then kind of made it, to anybody that didn't know Charlie Hustle, maybe he's Charlie Rose. He's got this shirt that says Rose on the back. So it's kind of a dual
Charlie
purpose.
Rose got
Well, he
canceled,
did
though.
get canceled. Well, Pete Rose got canceled too.
They tried to cancel Hero.
I think he was the most
He
successful.
got
No,
posthumously
I think
uncanceled.
he's the most successfully canceled person ever. They kept him out of the Hall of Fame. He's yeah. Anyway, so lots and lots of different Charlies. We had a costume contest, which was very fun. Or like my sister-in-law, I guess sister-in-law's sister. I don't know how that would work. Was Charlie Sheen specifically from Two and a Half Men,
Okay.
which was great. She had like the bowling shirt, like these big baggy cargo shorts. It's great, really good costume.
Charlie Rose.
Charlie Rose would have been a good one. Just dress up like a suit,
Just keep asking people
be very
questions.
serious. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't even remember what we were talking about. Halloween, I guess specifically, but
Well,
uh,
yeah, like Halloween on a Friday is like that's the
that-
one year, like this year
yeah,
and next year, the 2 years that like, you don't really have to mess with the date, right? It's like
totally.
we're gonna trick or treat on the night,
It just seems like open season for
because
tricks as well, though. Might be
it's
some
tough when
kids
it's
just
on a
letting it rip out
Tuesday
there.
or
Yeah.
you know,
No, totally.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
it's crazy now. You got all these kids on e-bikes
yeah,
and
just ripping around.
scooters, and yeah,
Horrible.
yeah.
What did you guys got? e-bikes out the ass down here.
We
I mean,
don't have
kids.
e-bikes
No,
personally.
no. I
They're
just
not
mean in
allowed
the
in our
neighborhood
house.
here,
Yeah, yeah.
in the
A lot
greater
of
Jacks
Florida, a
Beach
lot of
area.
Florida kids and adults.
What are the kids got costumes?
Yeah, I think they're both being Michael Jackson. I don't know what that's about. Like Goosey loves Michael Jackson. He thinks like the dancing is awesome. So the costumes arrived yesterday.
They're both Michael Jackson.
Silver glove. Yeah,
Are they both
one of them could be Tito or something like that.
Do they both like?
But they're both Michael.
Is it like the same era?
I don't know.
Is it gonna be the
Yeah,
same costume?
I'm sure it's the same costume.
It'd be sick if one of them was like Thriller and one of them was Bad, or something like
We
that.
Are the World.
We Are the World. This Is It tour. Wow, that's heady to wrap.
Yeah.
That's gonna take me a minute to wrap my head around both of them being Michael Jackson.
Maybe I'll be like Macaulay Culkin or something.
That'd be good. You should be. What was his dad? Joe.
Yeah, Joe Jackson.
Might have been kind of a bad guy. That's crazy. Well, is trick or treating here is always the 31st?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
It seemed like
Been
it.
really
I mean,
like the
I lived
last
here for
few years. Yeah,
that
I'm
long.
trying to
I
think
think
like what we
it is.
did like when it was on Sunday or Monday. I guess
Yeah.
we just trick or treated earlier in the week. But yeah, I'm kind of over Halloween. Like it's fun with the kiddos and
Yeah.
stuff, but even now, I don't know. It's just a lot. Too many adults get way too into Halloween.
This kind of go. Yeah, I co-sign that take, and I think it's really fun when you get a good neighborhood, and everybody. Oh well, this house is passing out drinks for the adults, and they got a cooler over here, but
We'll just put a big Yeti on the golf cart.
That's fun.
Like all the kids can,
Yeah,
keep their water bottles because kids have to be hydrated these days.
of
They have to
course.
keep their water bottles.
Are we overhydrating these kids?
Yeah, I don't know what we did when we were young.
I know.
Just lack of hydration. But there's a house over in Sally's old neighborhood that they do like Brunswick stew and chili.
That's nice.
And yeah, so all the parents I think they did tortilla soup last year. So I'm just like, cool. I'm gonna like hang out.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I remember we did a Halloween in your old neighborhood one time where you just kind of rove around, and
Yeah.
I do like
It's a good neighborhood for it.
Yeah, if you catch the right frequency,
Yeah.
you you catch the adults who aren't into it, no fun.
And a bunch of kids that are between like 4 and
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
Right?
Catch the adults that are not into it is no good. You catch the adults that are way too into it, not good. But you catch that kind of middle. There's some chillers out there who are just like every 5-6 houses. Maybe you linger for a little bit. And,
Yeah.
Oh, they got what? You guys got Jello shots? Oh,
Yeah.
wow! I haven't had a Jello shot in a while. Yeah,
high
that's fun.
noons. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so if you can, it's all about dialing in the right frequency. I think.
Are you gonna dress up?
I'm not going to dress up. I'm very tired, TC. I've been traveling a lot, got a
Yeah.
lot going on. Again, I feel like I'm not a stick in the mud. I'm not a joyless guy. I think next year, Charlie, every day the light bulbs are, more and more circuits are coming on board. I think he's starting to figure out what's going on. I think by next Halloween, he'll be,
Okay.
whatever, 2. That'll be much more fun. I'll go all in on that one.
Okay.
But this year, I think is kind of a little eyes wide open. I'm like, I think this is the last one where we're just kind of like, let's just keep our feet under us and get through each day here. And next year we'll start figuring out a costume.
Kind of mea culpa last year because Freddie was some character from Fortnite, and I said that I don't know, it was this banana thing.
Sure.
And I said it was from Fortnite, but it was really from something else.
Well, he's kind of seems like he's zagged this year.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. Yeah. What else we got going on? We referenced him earlier. We got Drew at Stone Creek Coffee.
Yeah.
Wants to tell you about the new project they've got going on called Control Freak Coffee. I've actually got the box over there. We can
Let me grab it. Okay.
I haven't tried it yet. It just showed up a couple days ago. But different basically it's built for people who love coffee but don't always love what coffee does to them. Raising my hand very high on that
Caffeine specifically.
That jittery, teeth buzzing, heartbeat in your neck feeling. Control Freak fixes that. It's coffee designed around caffeine control. You guys know Stone Creek Coffee, best beans, best brews, but with Control Freak, Drew and his team built something new, a system to help you choose your caffeine level without sacrificing great coffee. Here's how it works. You pick your level of freak from 5 caffeine levels. So here's 100.
Fully caffeinated.
Here's like full freak, Diddy style freak off. We got
Allegedly.
We got 50%, We got
half calf.
25%.
25 is I think where I'm gonna live.
I think I'm gonna live at 50.
I just need a little. I just need a little. I don't need the
Yeah.
full freight. I think decaf coffee is like completely on the come up, but you do need a little something in there.
Just I think the problem with the 25%, I would drink so much of it.
Yeah. But I like
But
drinking
I
coffee.
know I do
I know.
too. Yeah, in my tea program, I like the taste of coffee.
Yeah.
So it's the same high quality, ethically sourced beans that they've always roasted, now built into a lineup that lets you design your own buzz and manifest your vibe. So if you've ever wanted to manage your energy instead of apologizing for it, or if your heart rate monitor has ever asked, "Are you okay?" check out controlfreakcoffee.com. Use code NLU2025 for 20% off your first order over there. That's controlfreakcoffee.com. And don't worry, all of your fully caffeinated favorites remain available at stonecreekcoffee.com. Deej, should we get into some monitoring?
Yeah.
It's
I
been a
think
couple
so.
weeks.
I think so. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I think it's only appropriate that we shout out. I think this fall is the 50th anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald
Yeah.
sinking.
Of the gales in November about to start bucking here.
Yeah, yeah.
Milwaukee connection, of course. Edmund Fitzgerald, I believe, was the president of Northwestern Mutual, if I'm remembering that right. And I haven't read. I have this flagged. There was a big New York Times story
That was yeah.
about the 50th anniversary. It's on my reading list. I might read it on the plane on the way home today. I've been
Really
kind
good.
of setting it aside. But yeah, I think if memory serves, he was the president of Northwestern Mutual. He basically was like, Northwestern Mutual owned the Edmund Fitzgerald, the ship that famously, spoiler alert, sank in Lake Superior. I think he was saying, "Do not name the ship after me." And they're like, "No, you're a great man. We love working for you. We love Northwestern Mutual. We're naming the ship after you." He's like, "Please don't do that. Please don't do that." And then the ship sank. So kind of a tough one there, but
Yeah.
great song, obviously.
Well, there's actually in that piece, they talk about how Gordon Lightfoot stayed in touch with the families after
Really,
the fact. Yeah, yeah. Like very, I mean, banger of a song.
Gordon Lightfoot, underrated
For sure.
potential great
For
man as
sure.
well.
For sure.
Great Canadian man, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Great Lakes are sick.
They are. They are.
And
They get better every day. You know what's crazy about Lake Michigan? And I know we're talking about Lake Superior with the Evan Fitzgerald, but reminded me of Lake Michigan. Just looks different every day. It's just crazy how the light hits
yeah.
it all the
See, the
time.
ocean here looks the same all the
It
time.
does, and that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Which the ocean's beautiful. It's great to be
Yeah.
close by, but we live kind of like up on the bluff in Milwaukee, and so you're always like looking down on the lake, and you catch in the sunshine. It like looks like the Bahamas. Some days it would just be like
Yeah.
bright turquoise.
Isn't Lake Michigan too clean?
There were some concerns about that.
Because
I haven't really
they've
followed
got
up
like
on
all
that.
these invasive
Yeah,
little mollusk things that are
exactly.
cleaning the.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that, but there's some days where it looks like super bright and like Caribbean. There's some days where it just looks like super dark and angry, and it'll be kind of choppy. You just never know what you're gonna get, which I really
Do you get
like.
any any Lakers up there? Any of the freighter? Good.
Yeah, there's a little bit. They kind of
Bringing some iron ore in or
yeah,
something like
they
that.
they're usually quite a ways out there, but like again, kind of the
They're
east
not
side of
stopping in
no,
Milwaukee.
not
Okay.
a ton.
Okay.
Not a ton, I don't think. I don't hang out by the port enough. I need to
Okay.
get down there, down south towards the port. But, there's some stuff coming in and out. There's, like, some shipyardy type of
Okay.
stuff over on the south side of the city, but I don't really know what they're bringing in and out, I guess. Uh,
Could be bringing in hops.
it might be. Who knows?
You
Who
know.
knows? But, yeah, you can kinda you're always kinda up on the east side of Milwaukee. You're always kinda up high enough where you can look down and kinda see what's going on and who's coming and who's going, and great breakwater,
Yeah.
out there,
Love
which
a good
yeah.
breakwater. The only downside of the Great Lakes is you're near these massive bodies of water. There's not really any good seafood other than like smoked whitefish dip.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fish fries. It's Friday night. Maybe I start
But
hitting the fish fry.
but even those fish probably aren't coming out of
Not really Great
the Great
Lakes,
Lakes.
probably
They're
just
coming out
the
of other
other
lakes.
lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of walleye,
Yeah.
kind of perch.
Perch.
Yeah, bluegill. Do some fried bluegill nuggets up there, TC at the
Is
supper
that a
club.
thing?
I think
Fried
those yeah,
bluegill
I
nuggets?
think those are around, yeah.
Okay. In other water news, a man unfortunately died after falling into Yellowstone hot spring and dissolving overnight.
I feel like this was a
but
They had an epidemic of these
he was
a
trying
couple
to
years
hot
ago.
pot, I guess.
Yeah,
He
I
didn't
don't
really fall in.
just get out of there, man. It's geothermal,
Yeah, I don't think that's a
just
good idea.
sulfur out the ass up there. It's just
Yeah.
like you just don't want to be in there. That's just not worth whatever, you know, it's self-actualization. You're thinking of getting out of hot potting.
Yeah.
He thought it was just like a hot, I don't know. Who
A
knows?
hot tub, yeah.
I don't know. I'm
Just really hot.
look, just stay on the trails, guys. Trust the park
Yeah.
rangers up there in
Don't mess with the
Yellowstone.
buffalo and the
No.
bison either. Uh, you sent this one over.
Yeah, I saw this. This was I forget where this was. Like I think this was a stereo gum story, maybe. The band Slipknot was suing a domain squatter who I think has been sitting on slipknot.com for like 24 years or something like that.
Is domain squatting illegal?
I don't I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just like
It's just scummy.
business. Yeah, I think it's just kind of scummy. And I think they just wouldn't buy it. Like I think out of principle for a long time they just wouldn't buy slipknot.com, and so now they're suing him for I don't know what they're suing him for exactly. It's been a while since I read this,
And
but
they waited 24 years to sue
yeah, I
him?
guess so. I guess so.
Huh. Finally got around to it.
I think so.
Huh.
They were pretty prolific for a while there.
Yeah.
It's all the masks and it's just all the time it takes to get ready for a show. I'm sure they had a lot going on.
What's the latest on the Louvre heist?
Yeah, good question. Have you guys talked Louvre heist at all?
No, this happened. I think Randy and I chopped on like October 14th, so it's
Just
been about 2
bad
weeks.
timing. It was like Congress being out of session or
Yeah,
something. It
so
was
many
like,
people reached
I
out and like,
know.
you guys got to cover this.
You guys should have sent a reporter, honestly.
Yeah.
Like we went to Paris to do some on the ground
Well, it's
reporting, but it sounds like as of this recording, obviously fluid situation. It sounds like they've arrested 7 people, I think.
they arrested him at the airport, I think.
That I don't know. They've arrested, they think, 3 of the 4 people who were
Yeah.
actively involved, and then a couple of people who were, just kind of
Accomplices.
associates, accomplices. But did you read the New York Times thing about like how it happened and
Yeah.
all the blocking and tackling, where basically just like backed a stair car up to the balcony, rolled right up, went in one of the windows, kind of smash and grab and get out of there with
In,
like
out, get, grab, bong.
$100 million worth of
Yeah.
artifacts, diamond encrusted tiaras, things of that nature, a lot of Napoleonic gifts. It sounds like they have not recovered any of the stolen items, which were likely quickly disassembled
Yeah.
and scattered around.
Gone forever.
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
recut.
Probably. I didn't think Napoleon would kind of, I don't know, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I got to think he would probably have appreciated the just brazen attack, just kind
Yeah.
of midday. We're just going to kind of alpha this place and get in there and take it. So I, hate that for history, but part of me thinks maybe he would have been down with it.
Well, I think the Louvre, they were saying, all right, was this an inside job as well? Louvre employees were all up in arms anyway because they felt like it was overcrowded, understaffed.
Hmm.
Um, you know, security wasn't doing a good enough job to begin with. So, kind of canary in the coal mine kind of situation.
Yeah.
Also, there was a story. Speaking of just larceny, there was a story about these sea otters that are stealing surfboards out in Santa Cruz,
Yeah.
California.
A little lower stakes, but
I
similar
guess
kind
they've
of,
done it before.
yeah, similar brazenness.
Yeah, yeah. This was per the Times as well. Two years after Otter 841 menaced wave riders near Santa Cruz, there have been new encounters between the furry marine mammals and surfers. And the picture in the article is unbelievable. It's this guy in a wetsuit, and this otter is just like popping up right behind him on the wave.
Gosh. I
Um,
mean, that looks like it would be AI, but I don't think it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I
So
don't think
like
the old gray lady would ever stoop
this
to that.
Isabella Orduna, just a local surfer out there. She was at Steamer Lane, which is one of the popular surf spots, and she felt a small nip on her foot. The moment she surfaced, she saw a big, fuzzy, chunky bear of an otter sitting on her surfboard. I was like, "Wow, what do I do now?"
She said she called it an exploratory nip.
Yeah.
Didn't puncture the skin.
So
I think I probably stand with the otters
I did too.
on this one.
I do too.
I
This is the kind of thing that like I love just going to the comments section.
Yeah.
First comment, I stand with the otters.
Oh, really?
605 people
Yeah.
recommended that.
I think that's right.
Yeah. And Adam Weissman, October 19th said, "Why not just give 841 or this new otter, if it's not the same one, her own surfboard?"
Yeah,
You know,
that's a great idea.
it's the least we could do for
I
her.
totally agree.
So
Continue to follow
grow the
that
game,
as it
right?
develops.
Oh,
Let's get into it.
this was maybe one of the best things I've read all year. I mean, I tracked this a little bit previously. These super tall towers up in New York that are kind of remaking the skyline up there in Manhattan. Yeah, there's this one 432 Park Avenue that I guess they just kind of fucked up.
Sounds like there's some construction issues, and the chickens are coming home to roost on this one. Lots of cracks, lots of maybe some falling debris, although
Well, yeah,
they haven't really recovered much.
so like there's certain floors that are just left open so that the wind can pass through. But people have said like this thing just sways like crazy.
Like
It's
so
built to
much
sway
so
a little bit, but if it sways too much,
so much so that it sounds like now they're dealing with some pipe bursts and some flooding. They're covering up some
like people's bathtubs, like the water is splashing out of them during big storms.
they're covering up some HOA claims. Just an awesome, awesome story. Again, we're shouting out a lot of New York Times
We
stuff here,
always
but
do.
the New
Yeah.
York Times, just quick aside, New York Times might have figured out the content game
The
better than anybody
online,
else.
the app is
It's
great.
great.
You got
The athletic
Wordle, you
stuff
got
is
the
now kind of rolled up into a great experience. Cooking stuff
I
is
made a
great.
couple recipes the other night.
It's just, yeah, I rely on it heavily and,
Yeah.
shout it out. But this one's called "A Tower on Billionaires Row is Full of Cracks. Who's to blame?" And that's the fun part, because then they get into a lot of the specifics, and a lot of the people, kind of like inspectors and construction managers, and a lot of people who are like, yeah, no, this is gonna happen. This thing is not. It's not gonna go well. Like you
You work for the concrete, not the concrete
yeah,
doesn't work for you.
exactly. And so there was some talk of like sealants, and in order to, concrete's so porous, you need to do this differently. You need to make sure you can seal this thing up so that it doesn't, start to erode super quickly and form all these cracks and blah 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 blah. And it sounds like the building architect and maybe like the owner, I don't even know what you'd call him, just the
Developer.
owner developer,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, they thought that the color of the concrete, if you put that sealant on it,
It wasn't gonna be
would
white
not be
enough.
true to the architect's vision for the building, and so they didn't do it, and now it sounds like it would be, I believe it was quoted in there as like a nine-figure fix, like a upwards of $190 million or something to get this thing,
Just to get the
just to
stuff
get
on there,
it
not
to
even to
like
fix
where
the
it needs to
yeah.
be. Yeah, and then not let alone like fixing all these things. But I think your guy A-Rod might have bought a unit in
Oh,
there, got caught up in there. Jennifer Lopez was on the
is
list.
that when they were together?
Had to be. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just put that together as I was saying that out loud. Some other people that were in there too. I forget who else was kind of listed, but
Sure there's some sheiks and
yes, there definitely was
sultans,
some Middle Eastern presence in the
maybe
building.
some oligarchs.
That one poor guy, I think Chinese guy or something, that just kind of bought a unit like on a whim, and now he was like, he's like, my doors don't even close. Just like little things like that. Can you imagine spending like however many $1 million on some like high rise unit? Your doors don't even close. It's
Those
just
things are
really
crazy
good
too,
stuff.
like, I don't know, I just feel like you're up on the 120th floor and, like, you're living you have, windows on all sides basically, and you're just looking out like you're 1,800 feet in the air. It's crazy.
Yeah, people just like getting motion sickness in there from all the swaying, and
It's
I
crazy.
mean, it's just a very fun kind of not a who done it, but just an exploration to get to truly, like it said in the headline, who's to blame, because you can't tell how much of it is like construction litigators trying to just get their hooks
Oh, it's gotta
into,
be a sweepstakes,
I'm sure it's a
class action.
sweepstakes on that. It's just a great piece. Highest
Yeah.
rec.
Yeah, a lot of new structures going up in New York. I know JP Morgan just opened up their massive new
Yeah, some
HQ.
pretty dystopian photos
Yeah,
there.
Deepak Chopra, I think, gave the keynote address at the at the grand opening ceremony.
Another one of Randy's guys.
Yeah. What else we got? Pope Leo, the what is he, the 14th?
Yeah,
He's the 14th. He's
Big White Sox guy.
yeah, not a Cubs guy.
No.
He's allegedly disbanding Opus Dei. Neil's been bummed about this.
Yeah, I gotta read some more literature on this one. Maybe defer to some other people in my orbit on
Yeah.
whether this is good or bad. But
I talked to KJ a little bit about it.
yeah,
Yeah. He's gonna get back to me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on that one.
Speaking of just kind of OGs, original founders and stuff, Hooters,
Yeah.
lot going on. This was via Newsweek, I think. They said saving the chain is a higher calling. America needs us.
Yeah, I wish them all the best. You know, it's certainly an American institution,
Great
if
chicken
nothing else.
wings,
Yeah, good
like
wings.
legitimately great wings. But yeah, I guess they uh they over franchised, and then some of the franchises took on too much debt and all of that. And they're kind of
They had Hooters Air for a while.
it did at Hooters Air for a while. They're gonna do a simplified menu, but they just said, you know what, America needs us. Like they need a play, need a place that they can just
They
go
need
be
the, they
themselves.
need the third space.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah, I think that fits into that whole conversation. Cure for male loneliness.
Yeah,
Get them out to the Hooters.
you're a big SNL guy.
Yeah, I feel like a weird obligation to watch SNL. I don't even like it. I just feel like one of my friends said that like a
Solly loves SNL.
decade ago. It's just like a I don't know. It's just I just feel a huge obligation
Okay.
to just watch it and keep up with what's going on. And I just sit there most weeks. I'm like, oh, this kind of oh that one. There's like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 8 that are pretty fun. But anyways, the yeah, a couple SNL well, one SNL alum and one main writer, Colin Jost and Pete Davidson, very famously a couple years ago bought the Staten Island Ferry, which has turned into quite a fiasco, which there's a little bit of follow-up reporting on. This was another great another great piece about how they tried to, they bought it on a whim, it went up for auction, and they're trying to figure out what to do. I think they wanted to retrofit it and like put it,
Event space, I think.
make it an event space, like a roving kind of bar, restaurant, concert type of like venue, just cool night out, sailing around type thing. And just turns out it's like a complete shit box that was like
It's
definitely
got a
meant
bunch of asbestos.
bunch of asbestos in there that they got to rip out. It's like the best detail in this one, and again, go read the whole story because it's very fun. Is what did they buy it for? Like 200 grand or something, or 250 grand?
I think it was more than that even.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
the crux of it was in order to scrap it now because it doesn't run. Like you'd have to tow it
You gotta spend
so
like
far.
half a million dollars to tow
Basically,
it
like
down to the
in order
Gulf
to
Coast.
yeah, in order to scrap it, like you're gonna even lose money. And so now they're like trying to figure out where to park it, and they're getting killed on just docking fees, and like people are pissed that it's just this giant Staten Island ferry. It's like this huge eyesore, and they just can't get it out of there. They can't get it to a scrap yard. They can't get it into an event thing. So it's just kind of hanging out. Just a really good another good piece.
Not good stuff. The jury is seated in the Julio Fulio murder trial.
Yeah, might need to get JP
Yeah, so
in here
we'll have to
for
call
that one.
JP. In better Florida news though, this is per Daddy D on the
DeSantis.
on the X the Everything app. He said, "quote dramatic increase in Python removals!" exclamation point.
Does that mean there's more pythons, or does that mean there's more pythons being removed?
It's kind of a double-edged sword,
Maybe
right?
both.
It's yeah. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission's partnership with Inversa has supercharged the removal of Burmese pythons from the Everglades. Uh, the per-
Oh, they're from the Everglades. I
yeah,
just thought these was like from people's
yeah.
houses.
No, we got a
I'm like, well,
python
that's
problem
good.
here in
So these are
Florida.
just wild
Yeah,
pythons. Where are they putting them?
I don't know.
The Everglades is not the spot for them, right?
Fighting invasive species. Let's see. Python removal program success. Right, they're a year and a half ahead. They've just 3 months, May to July 2025, 1,022 pythons were removed compared to 343 during the same period in 2024. 748 removals in July alone. Um, Python hunters' pay was increased by 60%.
It's
Uh,
massively overpopulated. Is that what that might be what we're getting at here?
they boosted the morale and the professionalization of the python hunters. Pretty soon they're going to unionize,
I
probably.
wonder how you get into python hunting.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a big, big tent pole of Daddy D's administration. I think. I don't know what they're doing with the pythons though.
Yeah, they might just be snuffing them out if there's too many.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm
Apex
all for
predators, man. I guess you can't let them get out of control, I suppose.
I'm all for restoring the Everglades. You know,
Sure, of course. Of course.
It's kind of like the filter.
Yeah. What a
So
what a place. Might need a whole Everglades episode.
yeah,
I would listen to that.
Everglades, sick.
It is. In
Uh,
theory, I never went there. I lived here for like 12 years. I never went down to the
well,
Everglades, but
maybe you would have gotten eaten by a python if
for
you.
sure, that's part of my concern. It's
Yeah,
on the list,
it's pretty
but I
bleak down there.
respect it. It's
Yeah,
a little bit like the Atlanta airport. Like, I don't like it. I don't like being there, but I respect
we'll get
I
there.
respect that it exists.
Get there.
You know?
You sent this over. This is concerning.
Yeah, this is from the AV Club. Just less internet archiving is
Mm.
going on in general. The Wayback Machine, they can't really tell if it's like an active someone putting their thumb on the scale, archiving pages less
Yeah.
on the Wayback Machine, or if it was just like a glitch and something got messed up. But
Huh.
kind of a one of those that you can squint and maybe turn into a bigger story if you're looking for things to worry about is so much of our news and just event kind of like timekeeping keep
Yeah.
like happens through just online news,
Yeah.
and there's less of that archiving going on. There's a lot of shitload of news that happens
Might need
every
to talk
day.
to the librarians.
Yeah, so just something worth
Yeah.
worth putting on everybody's list.
On the flip side, yeah, I've heard some bad things about Wikipedia where it's like the same 200.
There's that profile going around a couple weeks ago about that guy who's just edited like
Menace.
30% of Wikipedia articles
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. It's probably
Uh,
gonna get worse with AI and all of that too.
gosh, that's a whole other. I'll quickly get out of my depth here, but I was talking to Cody about that. Like, what happens when all this AI starts just like referring itself based on
Yeah.
articles that are written? Like, you get one bad AI, you get one bad AI article that gets like half the facts
And it's
wrong,
not gonna
and
get
then other
removed from the
AIs start
internet. Yeah.
referencing that, and then other AIs start referencing
Yeah.
that, and it's just
It's like bad deep learning.
yeah, exactly. And that seems like it could get pretty exponential,
Perpetuating.
like pretty quick. At least
Yeah.
most of the economy's not built up around that stuff.
Yeah. And uh what else? We had the hurricane in Jamaica, in Cuba. I haven't really seen. I've been kind of off the grid the last couple days, but
Yeah,
I think it
can't imagine it's
I think it
been
made a
good.
westward wobble. It was good at the very end. It made it less damaging, but still, I would say if you are invested at all in the tropics, both Florida, uh, Carolinas, Caribbean, Mexico, even the Philippines, Taiwan, like for super typhoons and stuff. There's this newsletter called Enki Research, ENKI Research. It comes out once a day during hurricane season. It's invaluable. Like I used to just follow Dr. Levi Cowan or Tropical Tidbits, Mike's weather page.
Sure.
Uh,
Who's the other guy? Dr. Rick Nab.
Dr. Rick Knight, well, he's the
He
director of
seems like
National
maybe has
Hurricane
he gotten a
Center.
little too big?
He's just just corporate, right?
Yeah.
He's Weather Channel and all that stuff. So this is once a day, like no hype, right? It's just like, hey,
Here's what's up.
here's what's up. Like, it's time. Yes, it's time to start worrying about this one, or and it's good. And then I can just move on with my day. And
Sure.
so I would highly
It's a good
recommend that.
rec.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's been popping off in Brazil
Yeah,
the
you
last
sent
couple
this
of
over. We've
nights.
been filming the last couple days.
Yeah,
Haven't really kept
big
tabs
big
on this.
clash yesterday or last night between Brazilian authorities and some
Just
drug gangs and some of these favelas, alleged drug gangs,
hmm.
some of these favelas. So we will monitor that. There's a dirty martini arms race going on in Chicago.
Yeah, I think Chicago was kind of the illustrative example, but I think this arms race is going on all over the
It
world. Just
is
how can we make dirty martinis even dirtier?
briny.
Yeah, they're resorting to all kinds of tactics, genetic modifications, just really trying to
Yeah.
soup these things up into oblivion. So just keep a head on a
Yeah. Will
swivel.
DeFreeze had something in his Sunday Scaries newsletter about this week. You know what I made a martini with the other night? Caper brine. Not olive brine, caper brine.
Was it good?
It's excellent.
Capers
You'll
are
love
sick.
capers.
God, what was that recipe you made the other day? The
The
cabbage?
cabbage.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
roasted cabbage with like a caper, uh, garlic caper oil all over it.
Unbelievable.
Delicious, delicious.
Big episode for capers between the
Yeah.
Louvre and, this martinis news.
Speaking of capers, Luigi Luigi Mangione, big piece in the New York Times about
Oh
his
man,
missing months.
if you haven't read this yet, check it out. Unbelievable stuff. Just yeah, kind of tracking like everything he was doing, kind of putting the pieces together via a lot of interviews with people that ran into him and didn't realize it at the time. Obviously, as he was traveling through Japan, and he's going to these like very off the grid places in Japan, and then he was in Bangkok, and just like catching up with tourists who are like, "Yeah, man, we did sit at the bar and talk to that guy for like 3 hours." And yeah, he was talking about healthcare
How'd
stuff
they
a
find
lot.
these people?
I don't know, just really good reporting and following footsteps, and
Huh,
it was great. Like a really, really good piece, and kind of trying to you know make him into a little bit more of a 360 degree character. But saw he released he released, it could have been AI slop, who knows. I was looking at this on Instagram, but saw he released his things that he was thankful for.
'kay.
Uh, Pretty well balanced list on there. I just
What's he
we're
thankful for?
I'm not gonna remember all of it.
People
A
who
lot of
donated to
lot of
his
perspective. It was, I think, 27 things he was thankful for as he turned 27. And again, apologies if this was AI slop. I just saw it very quickly, but I remember he was thankful for Latinas for Mangione was on the list. A lot of a lot of the trials and tribulations. It was just
legal
a
team.
lot of perspective on the list for sure.
'Kay.
Which again is you know a lot of the stuff he was saying, a lot of stuff he's writing about. See what. Okay, I'm interested. I'm listening to what you're saying.
Maybe didn't need to
Yeah, just
shoot
I
that
think
guy in the
yeah, maybe took it one step too far where I'm like, I don't know if I can get down with everything that's going on here. But yeah, that's Luigi Corner there.
yeah. Got a furloughed IRS lawyer moonlighting as a hot dog vendor
I
to
saw this. I didn't read this
live out his
one.
dreams. Yeah. Randy sent that over
It's a
via
little
Apple
look,
News. I don't have Apple News.
maybe a little look at me.
You sent this over today. This really rocked me. Dr. Phil,
Mm.
his media company
Yeah, well, I
went
saw a
went through
headline about a
bankruptcy.
Dr. Phil bankruptcy case. And I'm like, how can Dr. Phil be in bankruptcy? He must have all the money from being on syndicated TV
Yeah.
for a million years. I think it was a company he started. Seems like it got in with professional bull riding or something. I was kind of trying
So
to,
he got the horns then, huh?
yeah. Yeah, it seems like some shady doings,
Okay.
some deleted messages, some preferential treatment of certain vendors.
Huh.
So yeah, I would encourage people to
Someone could be trying to catch him outside.
yeah, I would
How about
encourage
that?
people to do their own reading on that one.
Okay.
Doesn't
Speaking of
seem great.
reading, big GQ piece dropped today on my guy Eric Adams. I
Yeah,
have not read it yet, so
Ben was sharing some tidbits from that.
okay.
Sounds like EA's got some, just great, keeping his great attitude as
Yeah,
always.
one thing you can control, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then yeah, we had some. I had some travel over the last few weeks. Great flight on United over to London, Deej.
Good.
The new Polaris Lounge at O'Hare. It's incredible. It's incredible.
What was, I mean, any highlights?
It, like, looks out on the runways, and you get these blue lights in the distance, like really dark, almost speakeasy vibe,
Mm.
like kind of like a Japanese whiskey bar kind of vibe. And then they've got the restaurant in the back.
Which is great for, especially for overnight
It's
flights, because
great.
you're just looking to
Yeah.
kind of
I like taking that
get a little
late.
pre-bedtime going, right?
I like taking the late flights, like,
Yeah.
the 9:30 flight to London that lands at 11 a.m. or 11:30 out of Houston or out of Chicago versus taking the 5 o'clock one
Then you
from
can't fall
Newark.
asleep, and then it's even earlier when you get
Yeah,
there, and yeah.
it's 6 a.m. when you get there and you get dumped right off. So National Rent a Car continues to just
Really?
slap. Yeah,
Go like a pro.
awesome experience on the ground there in London. I didn't even book it until I landed. It's like, you know what? Like, didn't even
What
book my hotel till I landed for like the first 2 nights when I was playing golf
yeah,
before. And then yeah, and then I flew direct from London to Dallas for our
NLU Club
NNU
Championship.
Club Championship.
It's kinda like, when Team USA flew to Royal Melbourne on, like, super short,
Yeah,
they didn't for the President's Cup, they didn't give enough
yeah.
respect to, the golf course.
I found a really inexpensive business class fare on American Airlines. It was, one of their old 777s. Just a really like mediocre experience.
Mm,
Just, just not like the lights didn't work on the plane, so they couldn't adjust them, like turn them off or on. The reading lights didn't work. You pointed this out. The movie
It's
selection.
bad. It's bad. I don't want to be, snob, but it's just tough. There's like just not a lot of stuff piquing the interest. You can tell
Which
they're trying to
United's
do
got a
a
great
they
selection.
do. You can
Yeah.
tell I think it seemed like American was trying to get some bulk discounts, just all sequels.
Mm.
Just like here's 11
Avengers.
Harry Potter's movies. Here's 14 Fast and the Furious movies. Here's kind of
Paul,
just
I
trying
mean,
to fill it
R.I.P. Paul Walker.
for sure. Yeah, no, to say nothing of the quality of those movies, but yeah, it's just not. It was just tough, man. It
Yeah,
just wasn't good. You
it's
said
not
the
ambitious.
Wi-Fi was like $35.
It was $35 for Wi-Fi, and it
God,
wasn't good.
hate that.
Whereas, like, I've been on United regional flights
With the
lately with the
Starlink? Oh
Starlink.
my
It's
god. I
insane.
watched what was it? I think it was game 4 of the Brewers Cubs series. I was like I was just streaming it on YouTube TV with the Starlink Wi-Fi on the plane. It was amazing.
You flew?
Lickety
Did
split.
you fly Delta down
Up
here?
here or
Yeah,
down here?
yeah.
I did. Yeah,
You
totally
said
fine.
they had some bad music playing. It's like
It's just everything's gosh, I don't know. The
it's
Delta
really cute. It's
experience
really cute.
is always great. The app's great. The terminals are
The
always
app's
clean.
fine.
The
The United app's
planes are always
better.
clean. The staff's always great. I
Yeah.
genuinely I like flying Delta. It's just everything's it's getting a little cute. It's a
Yeah.
little cute. It was a lot of like orchestral pop covers just blaring in the cabin.
What song was it?
I think it was like Despacito or something.
Despacito.
And then they switched to some Taylor Swift song, and it's just it's just very cute. The
A lot
whole
of virtue
the,
signaling.
a lot of all the branding, it's very cute. It's but they're putting on a good product on the whole.
Yeah,
So
they are. Did you see the flight attendant, the Delta flight attendant who was just
in
absolutely,
Atlanta,
yeah, in
yes,
Atlanta,
who was
be
dressing down the Southwest attendant.
berating
Yeah, which
the I don't even think it was Southwest flight attendants, I think it was gate agents,
oh really?
saying like, "You guys don't take pride in your customer service, you're ghetto, you're ratchet." Like,
I stand with that guy. I thought he made a lot of good points. They told me not to come through Atlanta for this reason. You guys aren't serious people. Basically, was his take. I thought he was making a lot of good points.
in other news, we had a United 737 got duffed by some potential space debris.
Do you think this was real or
I
was
don't
this
know,
AI?
man. This was crazy. No, it was like a real story. They just don't know. They still don't know what it was.
I've been
That
something
like hit
falling
the
off that
windshield.
432 Park Avenue.
Can't rule it out. Yeah, like the pilot had one of the pilots had like lacerations on his arm.
Whoa.
It shattered the windshield, which those things are thick.
God, that would be spooky.
What else we got? There was an American Airlines flight attendant barricaded herself in the galley and called police on the first class passengers because they were being mean to her, being too demanding.
That's tough,
There was
man.
another, American
I
Airlines
didn't
flight attendant. I think that it was either AA or BA that like was all hopped up on some sort of drugs and
I
freaking
guess
out in the bathroom.
I guess the drugs is at least I understand the motive. The people who are just I don't get anybody who's just dressing down these flight attendants. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know how anybody gets on a plane and is just not like, hey, we're all in this together. Let's
yeah.
just do what we can to make this
I think we need
as
to.
non shitty as possible, And it's like, no, I'm gonna go in there and just like argue for my I don't know. I'm gonna go move the ball forward 1 inch for myself. It's not a good vibe, TC.
After we talked to Secretary Pete, which I've flown out of. I flew out of
Oh, I
B5
can't stay away
right
from
next.
beef. I'll be at
Is it
B5.
B4 or B5?
I think it was
B4.
B5. I
Okay,
think it's
B5.
B5.
Okay.
I took a picture by it.
Alex flew out of it the other day. Incredible. But I do think that we need to like weaponize the no fly list. Be pretty
Say more
liberal
about
with it.
that.
Just like let's just put more people on the no fly list.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a is it Christy Gnome? The one that looks like an
Yeah.
alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of the concrete face going on.
She's the one that killed her dog.
I think it was her neighbor's dog, maybe. Definitely killed a dog. Or maybe it was her dog. I don't know. I forget. All this thing just
Anyway,
kind of
she's
goes
getting
at
so much runtime at the TSA
yeah.
checkpoints.
She's everywhere.
But it's the Homeland Security person, not the Department of Transportation,
Right. That runs a no fly.
that runs the no fly list.
I would support them I don't think I've ever I say this to someone, I don't think I've ever been in danger of getting put on the no-fly
Yeah,
list. I think I'm a very courteous
yeah,
flyer, and much like traffic cops or whatever, I'd say, yeah, just go for it, man. Start ringing people up.
yeah.
Zero
Um,
tolerance.
what else we got? Oh, there was a midair fork attack on a Lufthansa flight from Chicago to Frankfurt, I think.
Hmm. You gotta watch out
Um,
for that one.
yeah,
That's your
yeah.
route.
So they had to divert to Boston. I'm typically flying the United one out of there. I fly Lufthansa out of Dulles a lot.
I see.
And then, yeah, otherwise, I got a gripe about the Dallas DFW airport. Uh, I flew in, smooth flight. We were early. Shout out to American. Ben
We were late.
Ben flew in. Oh, you flew American to
We did,
Dallas.
but that's okay.
Okay.
That's in the models. An hour and a half late on American.
Okay.
That's in the models.
Yeah. Just more time for airport beers.
That's right.
Uh, but I flew into. I think I flew into C or D. Ben flew into B or C. Like we were kind of on opposing sides. It was easier to get from my hotel in London that morning to DFW than it was for like for me and Ben to link up from different terminals post security, post customs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was crazy how difficult it was.
What did
It's
you
one of the most
just
poorly laid out like he had to take like 3 shuttle buses and then did like uh the one drop off location was closed, so I had to walk over and then
oh man.
it was a disaster. So let's thank FanDuel. The Trap Draw is brought to you by FanDuel. We're gonna do a little sports section here, just some quick hitters here in a sec. But basketball is back. FanDuel is putting you in control right from tip off. Every day to start the season, you get to choose your reward. Play it safe, go for it. Feeling bold, that's your move. Whatever your style, you are in control. So what kind of better are you? Deej, how are your Los Bucks looking?
Unclear, TC. I have no idea.
Okay.
I saw they won their first 2 games. Then maybe they lost. I'm not going to pretend to be a Bucks guy. I'm getting word they're 3-1.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they are playing the Warriors tonight in Milwaukee.
Okay.
So look out for that one. Oh, I
Uh
guess it will have ended by the time you're listening to this.
I'm
Hope they
fascinated
won.
fascinated by Randy's Kings this year. They're over under on regular season wins is 31.5 and everybody's going under on it.
I thought they were good.
They were, and then they kind of blew it up, but I
Mm,
guess vibes aren't good right now.
it's not a lot of wins.
I'm going to counter it though. I'm going to
Are you
say
going to hit the over?
I'm going to hit the over. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I will say? We did this. We've talked about this a lot on the Seamsters pods, but over unders, just having those running for the season,
Great.
just delightful.
Yeah.
It's a really fun thing to check in on every day.
Yeah. Exactly.
Pick one team and just ride with them.
So, however you play, FanDuel's giving you the power to choose your reward and own your game every single day to start the NBA season. Head to fanduel.com/trapdraw to make your choice. Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Did you sent this over about the Packers being Japan's team?
Yeah, just a piece I read.
Delightful.
I think it was just a group of Packers fans that met up with a group of Japanese tourists
Okay.
and got them into the Packers. And yeah, just another fun read. But would love to hang with those guys. You know, I think going to a Packers bar in
Are you a Packers fan?
Japan. No, again, I'm kind of agnostic on most football stuff.
Okay.
Just hope everybody has a good time. You know,
Luke Fickle's not having a good time up in Wisconsin.
is he the Badgers coach?
The Badgers
Yeah,
coach.
that doesn't seem like it's going well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Kind of over the Packers. Just like tired of them.
I kind of feel that way about the NFL, but that seems to be an
Yeah.
unpopular opinion.
What else? We got Mike Lombardi, UNC's general manager. He visited Saudi Arabia, do some fundraising before the season. That broke. Pablo Torre continues to find out about stuff. Coaching carousel is just off the chains right now. Since Randy and I last chopped, James Franklin got broken off.
Hmm.
Um,
It was fun to hear Brian Kelly get fired mid pod as you
Yeah.
made a random joke about Brian Kelly at the intro,
yeah,
and then he had been fired before the podcast ended.
he's just a bona fide piece of shit. Like horrible human being.
I man, I don't know if I'm gonna ever forget that. Like when he put on that kind of Louisiana accent for a minute when he got to LSU.
He's just
That was
talking
good
about his
stuff.
family.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're trying to negotiate down his buyout via morals clause. I've heard all sorts of
Mm.
stuff about various indiscretions around Baton Rouge. So we'll see if they get out of that. Russ Westbrook was going after LeBron. I guess Will Smith is in the locker room, and Russ was just like, man, this guy sucks. So I can get down with that. Scary Terry Rozier got arrested,
Yeah, this is
indicted.
another. It's
Chauncey
just
Billups.
I know. I feel just inadequate in this chop session. There's just so much stuff to be monitoring. The
Yeah.
gambling ring is like
The
trap draw
poker car, the
fodder.
poker with the see-through, like the
Yeah.
special contact lenses. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm all for innovating in some of those, like an age-old, kind of a caper in itself, an
Yeah.
age-old caper that's developing new tactics. I'm kinda into hear more about that.
Yeah. I'm credibly told that Urban Meyer was offered $12 million a year to take the Penn State job, and he
Mm,
declined it. So I don't know if he's waiting for Hugh Freeze to get fired at Auburn and he
sheesh.
goes back to the SEC, or if he just doesn't want to work. We'll see what happens. I have no idea who Florida's going to hire.
I feel like,
I think the Tulane guy is going to end up at either Florida or LSU, and then LSU wants Kiffin.
it kinda seems like, we're here in Jacksonville, like we mentioned. It kinda seems like the Urban Meyer era has been completely memory hold.
Yeah,
I feel like I brought it up to a couple people as a joke this week, and it was almost just like, what are you talking about?" Like, "No, he was the coach." I remember he was, like, the coach of the
and he
Jags, like,
stayed behind in
recently. Remember
Cincinnati
that?
and drove up to Columbus and was checking that lady's oil.
Yeah, it's just kind of
Bad.
a funny one. That's a weird chapter in,
Yeah.
Jaguars football.
Did you see the Bengals? They put out a tweet.
Yeah, this was tough. You brought this to my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a picture, like, they were playing they were gonna play the Jets. They lost. This is pregame. This was sponsored by Ticketmaster. They put out a tweet that had a picture of, like, a cockpit.
they're, like, flying, like, on descent into New York.
No, into Cincinnati.
Is it?
Yeah, into Cincinnati. That's the Cincinnati skyline
Oh, I
there.
see.
And, yeah, the Netherland Plaza Hotel there and all that stuff, and Joe Flacco and, looks like Jamar Chase, look like they've, like, hijacked the airplane, and yeah, may need to call Sean McDermott and the Bills
Well,
coach.
there's just an unfortunate, like, yeah, the cockpit bar kinda looks like a tall, skinny building, like,
Yeah,
right in front of the plane. There's just a lot of people that had a lot of,
there were
uh
some good replies in there.
yeah, just people that had some fun with that one.
Yeah. The doctor that has been looking after, Lamar Jackson's groin injury, or no, sorry, hamstring injury. This is, a tweet from Jacob Infante, who I guess is a Ravens beat reporter. Ahead of Lamar Jackson's potential return against the Bears, I spoke with Provo Lutheran orthopedic surgeon Dr. Gerald Penis about the injury. Uh,
TC, I just gotta say, this is like a photo of very clearly Joshua Jackson, the actor, the guy who played Charlie
did I get
Conway.
got?
I think you had to have gotten got on this.
Somebody tweeted Doctor Who.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think that's
uh,
I think that is gotta be that's a guy from Mighty Ducks. Circling it all the way back. I mean, there was a Charlie Conway at our costume party.
is this guy? Oh, this guy might be like a
I think you got
Barry McCockey.
yeah, I think you just got absolutely got. He's calling himself, a trash goblin from the sewers, TC, and I think you just got completely your face bitten off by this guy.
A trash goblin from the sewers.
Yeah. This is I don't think Dr. Penis exists. I hate to say it.
Damn it! Got way too much entertainment out of that.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
Oh.
get in the replies here, TC. I think there's a lot of red
I'm
flags to
not on
this
my game
report.
right now. Um, I'll tell you who
We
is on
might need
his
to start
game,
a whole
though.
segment about you getting got by all these fake items.
Um, Jerry Jones, he's out in West Texas right now, I guess. He found like 100, like a maybe like a multi-billion dollar just cache of of new oil and gas discoveries out there.
It's good to see him catch a break.
He's like, yeah, like like I would be trying to fix this defense, but I'm out here because this is just a lot more lucrative right now.
Man, oh man.
So,
Hopefully he buys up some other teams. Honestly, he should buy the White Sox, like something
well,
like that.
Ishbia's brother.
Well,
just
yeah, I
bought
know.
him,
Maybe he
right?
buys them out from under them. I don't
Yeah.
know. Or the Marlins. You should buy your Marlins.
Didn't the Marlins just get sold a
I
couple years
think,
ago?
yeah, maybe. But it
Jeter
sounds like he's
was,
coming into
yeah.
all this other money.
Oh, we gotta talk about this. So Solly was talking about like I we were playing golf the other day, and Solly was talking about how he's just into birds
No, he
now.
was worried that he was going to get into birds because he said he took a photo of a plant, like a really nice plant by his house, and put it on Instagram. And everybody in the replies is like, "Oh man, like you're just basically
Plants
like,
are
you're just
sick.
evolving into this like middle aged dad, and like next up is going to be birds. Like careful, you're going to start really like appreciating birds and looking out and
What's there
trying
to
to.
be
I
careful of?
That's what we were both saying. He's like, this is horrible. I'm aging too quickly. We're like, no, just lean in. You gotta be if you want to be a bird guy, be a bird guy.
Yeah, we saw God, like
And no, we
right as
saw
we were
those
talking about
birds this
this, we saw
morning.
some blue jays, and then we
Yeah.
or a bluebird, and then we saw these turkey vultures this morning.
Those
Bald eagle that lives
all the great
a couple streets
cranes out
down.
that we saw at Sawgrass. I
Yeah,
mean, it's just
yeah.
I fully support
Hummingbirds are sick.
not only being into birds, but also just like having mature hobbies.
Yeah.
I think is another big one. I've talked to Randy a lot about this. He's talked a lot about the need and the itch to start a collection of some sort or start a hobby or something like that. He's yearning for it. He just doesn't know what to do. And I think
Well, he tried to do the bonsai tree and he
yeah,
killed
and
it.
I think that
Yeah.
quickly met its demise. But I don't know. Does that resonate with you? Are you
Well, like I guess birds is kind of collecting something. Like bird watchers, I
yeah,
never thought about it of like what bird watchers are actually doing. They're searching for birds they've never seen before.
exactly.
Okay.
And I
So
think I it's
like, oh,
something I
there's
need
a
to learn more.
yellow-breasted nuthatch. Check it
Yes,
off the
check it
list.
off.
It's like playing top 100 golf courses.
Exactly.
Okay.
I've a bunch of people have sent me a link to this film on YouTube called Listers.
I've
Uh
gotten that link too from
really?
people. Yeah.
It looks awesome. There's been a lot of people who are like this, I've watched all of your videos and I think you will love this production style and I've had it like queued up for weeks and I just haven't sat down and like actually watched it. But it's yeah, it looks like it's kind of a look into the world of extreme bird watching. Which
Like what would be
I
extreme
don't
bird
know. I haven't
watching?
watched it yet. I gotta check it out. But it
Okay.
sounds like it's great, very well done, and has a lot of fun personality to it. So
Are they going to
Solly,
extreme places to
I don't
watch
know.
birds
I don't know.
or doing it for long periods of time?
We'll have to help each other out here and watch it. But Solly, I think you just keep
Like someone
pulling the
needs to get
thread, man.
5 hummingbird feeders out there,
Exactly.
put some live streams on them. You can do
Yeah.
that so easily these days.
What else you doing with your time? You hit him with that. What do you got? Too many hobbies?
Yeah,
Just lean in, man.
like my Norfolk Island pine that I got,
Exactly. Exactly. I think I'm in full support of
Yeah,
those types of hobbies.
gardening, bird watching,
Yeah. Whatever.
yeah, like, fishing with the
Yeah.
party doctor yesterday. He was telling me that polar bear fur
Mm.
is the most sought after. It's I guess it's illegal now
As like a
to
fly?
get it, but yeah, to like to put on a fly, especially if you're bone fishing.
I don't know if I can get down with that. Polar bears are having a tough go of it as it is. I don't think we need to, unless they die of natural causes, that
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't know.
it's even if they die of natural causes, it's still illegal.
Yeah, we need to be lifting the polar bears up, TC.
Well, maybe if you shave them,
Yeah, I don't know if
they're
that,
getting too hot,
yeah,
right?
well, maybe. You'd have to shave their food supply to keep the food supply around. I think that's the problem. I think they're starving to death.
And they're falling through the ice too, right?
Yeah, but they can swim, so I don't know if
Yeah.
I think it's more they don't have anything to eat.
Have you ever seen Party Doctor's bug collection?
No.
What do you what do you call it when people like preserve like they go find
Oh,
bugs and they preserve it?
I know what you mean, but I don't know what it's
Is that
called.
ornithology? Ornithology?
I think ornithology is like bird watching, isn't
Oh,
it?
that's bird watching.
Yeah.
It's a field. Entomologist.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was into that.
huge. He's got
That's
like I think he donated like a bunch of his collection to his alma mater, but Like he'll do the little,
like the
the
pins
little
and it.
pins and all
Yeah,
that stuff. It's crazy.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gosh, Solly, I just I can't. I told him I was like, man, if you sent me a text that was like, check out this sick bird that I just saw. Here's what it
Not
is.
not not like sick, like
No. Like a
like
cool
ill.
bird.
Yeah,
Check
like
out
cool
no,
bird.
not this ill bird. If you said, check out this very rare, interesting bird that I just saw. Here's why it's rare and interesting. I can't think of a text I would welcome
Yeah.
more than that.
Like just having a cool
And that
bird
goes
that
for anybody, really.
frequents your yard.
Yeah,
Like, oh, the cardinal's back. You
that's the
know?
best.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you collect anything?
I collect records.
Okay.
Uh, I got some kind of like mid-30s white guy cliche collections, but I have a lot of vinyl records, and I started collecting Blu-rays recently, which is a bit of a um
What's the point of that?
well, great question. So as always, shout out the Big Picture podcast, one of my favorite podcasts with Sean Fennessy and Amanda Dobbins. Our guy Big T, Tim Simons, goes on that podcast frequently to talk about his physical media collection. And he was on recently because he collects Blu-rays as well. I've talked to
We
him a
might have
lot
to
about
get
this.
Big T archiving the internet for us too.
That's a good point.
You know?
But add that to his list, his purview. He can. He's making too many hits out there at Netflix right now. But the point I think is
He's
a
in all
couple.
those VW commercials too.
Exactly. The point is a couple fold. I think one, what if a movie you absolutely love just like goes off streaming? What if some executive gets pissed off at another executive and they pull these
Yeah.
and you just have nowhere to watch a movie, which sucks. That's
Let's
that that's
let's
one thing.
say, for instance, Paramount buys Warner Brothers Discovery.
Totally. Yeah. As exactly. All these
David
like
Ellison says, I don't like these movies.
all the consolidation that keeps happening and all of the yeah, it's like if you love some movie, especially like a movie from your childhood or a movie
Yeah.
that is like less popular than whatever, it just disappears. It disappears. Like you can't watch it. That sucks. Two, a lot of stuff on streaming, like we spend all this money on TVs to get things to like look
The
right, and it
quality's
just
not
look
right.
like shit. Yeah, a lot of them, and like that's a problem in itself. Which I was watching like what was I watching?
You just have bad internet?
I don't think so. I think it's just the way these things like get compressed to get put on
Huh.
Netflix or
So 4K is
Amazon
really
or
not 4K?
I don't. There would be a lot of people
Or
who could check
Netflix is
me
trying
on
to
this,
charge
but
you more for
I
4K
think
now,
that's
right?
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third thing, I really like the idea. Tim was talking about this on this podcast of like, especially with kids, just having the idea of like a movie being a tangible thing
Yeah.
is is a something worth chasing. I
That's
feel like,
right.
or worth moving towards. And he loves like he does movie nights at the house, and he loves the idea of like the kids going to the shelf and picking something out rather than just like being a boneless blob sitting on the couch just like scrolling and I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that through a bunch of shit that like, that's how I spend most of my time. I feel like it's just like scrolling through movies I might watch and then not watching any of them and just wasting a bunch of
Yeah.
time. And so the other thing I would add to it is like I've never really it never really clicked for me like how cool quote unquote special features are, especially for movies that I've
Like a
seen
director's cut
100
or
times.
yeah.
Yeah, just like a director's cut or a commentary.
Like seeing Face Off with John Woo talking about
Yes,
various.
like truly. I mean, I watched one the other day. I was watching Rushmore, Wes Anderson movie that I've seen 700 times. And it just like looked completely different than
Yeah.
any other time I've seen it in my life. I'm just like, oh wow, there's like color in this movie, and it looks so much different than it does on
Huh.
DVD or streaming for sure.
Wait, so what's the difference between Blu-ray and DVD?
So DVD, I think like it's resolution stuff. So
Okay.
then therefore it's like file size and how much can
Blu-ray's
fit on one
bigger?
disc. Not like disc size, just like file sizes.
Okay.
So they're all the same
Same
discs.
disc. It's like a CD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blu-ray, or I'm sorry, DVD, I think is like basically 480p resolution.
Okay.
So if you think about this, even as just like watching YouTube videos and like changing the resolution on there, I think DVDs are 480,
Huh.
Blu-rays are 1080, and then 4K are 4K.
Okay.
So there's like DVDs, there's Blu-ray
What about
discs,
Laserdisc?
and there's 4K discs. I don't know what the Laserdisc resolution is. I have to look into that. So there's all these restorations of like movies that have now, you get the original film stock and you do all these 4K restorations.
Enhancements.
So it's like It's pretty sick. Again, I'm not recommending anybody else do this, but I get a huge kick out of seeing these movies that I've seen a million times and then seeing some big 4K restoration on a good player with a big TV. You're like, holy shit, that's what it looked like when they shot it. That's
Awesome.
awesome. So that's cool. And that kind of leads to like, I always talk about on the goals podcast, like, oh, I want to watch 100 movies this year, 150 movies or whatever. And so many of those just like go in one ear and out the other. And it kind of becomes like a volume game for no reason where
Mm.
I'm like, well, why don't I just pick the 50 movies that I really love and just
It's almost
watch
like it
them
can't
like
be one of your favorite
more
movies
times?
unless you have a physical copy of it.
Yeah. And so like Justine and I did because I kind of, she listens to Big Picture as well. And as soon as she saw that episode go up, she was just like, it was like the Andre the Giant meme of just like, oh God, like this is coming for us. We're gonna have to start collecting these things now too. And so I was talking to her about it, and I was kind of like not selling her, but like my pitch to her was like, this would be a fun thing to like do together, like build a collection together. You don't just like
Okay.
go rogue and buy a million things. You like
Where are you buying these? You buying them on Amazon
there's a
or
lot of them on Amazon, there's a lot of them on Criterion.
okay.
The Criterion collection is like a whole, I don't know how you describe it. It's a collection, but it's like a almost like a hall of fame of just like
Okay.
they pick like their curated list of here's what we think are like
Are they still
the
manufacturing
most
these
important
things?
movies made. Yeah.
Or are
So
these
now it's
just
like
out
it's
of
very
like
similar to vinyl records.
Blockbuster stock or something like that?
Some of them are, so you
Okay.
can go on like deep dives and like try to find estate sales that have a bunch of
Okay.
Blu-rays. Or some studios are like re-releasing them,
Yeah.
or now it just becomes like very similar to vinyl records where A24 or some of these other like
Yeah.
higher end studios are getting much bigger into like, oh, people are like collecting these, so
We're gonna lean
we're
into
gonna
it.
make some $80 version that has like a bunch of special features and cool artwork and a booklet that goes with it and a director's commentary and blah 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 blah. So Justine and I went through and I was like, let's just start with like when we first did it. Like, let's just start with like our first 10. What's our first ballot Hall of Fame
Mhm.
entry? These are the 10 movies that are the first 10 going into our collection. And so we just like made dinner one night and just like made a night out of it where it was like, pick any movie that you want to be a nominee and we have to both agree on it. And we just kind of like, we're just dicking around like at dinner, but it has to get 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
Otherwise it's not moving on. And so you just whittle down the list until you get to, you start with 50 and then you get to 30 and then you get to 20 and then you get to 10 and you
Any
start
big
arguing.
disagreements?
No, it was like it was pretty agreeable. I'm trying to think what the big one was like, well, if you're going to put in, you couldn't really separate between No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood. It's like, if you're going to put one of those in, you kind of got to have to put both of them in.
Okay.
And then if you're going to put both of those in, then that means something else drops off. So then we got into like, all right, well, then we're going to pick Justine's favorite 10 as the next
Yeah.
entries, and then we'll pick my favorite 10. And so there's a lot of horse trading of like, look, I can't vote for
Can't do that in good
The
conscience.
Music Man, is a movie she loves. I'm like, I've never really seen The Music Man. I
Okay.
can't vote for this, but you can put it on your list if you want. She's not going to vote for Boogie Nights or something like that. That I'm like, that's going to go on my list.
Okay.
And so I don't know, it just turns into a fun
Yeah.
something to talk about at dinner, something to pop in at the end of the night. You don't have to
Yeah.
get the endless scroll of like, what are we going to watch? It's just been a lot of like, I just got this in the mail. Fucking watching this movie. It's gonna be great.
I dig that.
So it's been fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
You got any collections?
Uh, not really. I mean, like curiosities, I think is probably more.
Yeah,
The one thing I collect from golf is golf pencils.
that's great.
So I've got all my golf pencils right there. I'm probably missing some. Like some courses don't have pencils,
Sure.
right? But I'm not like maniacal about it. But it's probably time for me to
I love
do something with it.
keeping the pencils in a jar. I think is great. I've always kept like wine corks, like a lot of people do
Yeah,
that, and you like write the date or what you were
yeah,
doing, and you throw them all in a jar, and then you can have a glass of wine and like go through all the fun memories and stuff. Golf pencils, the same thing.
yeah,
That's great. You could dump that out and just be like, oh, that's right. I played here with this person, and
yeah. I would say like I have like a. It's not a collection just because I drink them, but like wine.
but that's
I have a lot of
that's
wine.
an exploration,
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
like wine, and knowing what to store and for how long, and like, all right, I'm gonna put that bottle of Barolo up there and like not think about that again for the next 11 years.
Yeah.
And then, let's revisit that in 2036 kind of
Which
thing.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Otherwise, I don't know. I like these like Jim Beam decanters.
Those are
They're
great.
so
The Glen
fun.
Campbell one's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like hundreds of them out there. They did them for a long time. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get less stuff.
Sure.
Not
The other
more
good thing about
stuff.
the movies, they're pretty small.
Yeah. And they just fit on a shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Oh, for the entomology thing, an aspirator, also known as a pooter, is a device used in the collection of insects, crustaceans, or other small, fragile organisms.
There you have it.
Pooter. P-O-O-T.
I have to talk to the party doctor about who his pooter guy is. They know Dr. Penis.
Can't believe I got got. So, disclaimer for our friends at FanDuel. Got to be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit Gambling Helpline, ma.org, or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Deej, safe travels back to the upper Midwest.
Thank you.
And we will be back on with a potential ball knower next week. And enjoy your Halloween, man.
Yeah, you too. You too. Thanks for listening. We will catch you guys next time.
Crack on.